Hi, I'm Trish. I know that I said my next video would be on my new phone. My new phone is on order, so this will be the last video on my old phone. I've been feeling a bit crap lately, feeling better today, so I thought I would make a video that I've been meaning to make for quite a long while. It's a bit, well, I hope you'll think it's funny. I think some of it's funny. Hopefully, hang on, I'll just... So I'm in my, what I call my cool room. It's a bedroom in my house where I've got an aircon that doesn't work anywhere else in the house because all my other rooms are too big. This used to be my son's room, so now it's my second lounge room with aircon, and I've just turned it off because it was really quite loud. Now, if my neighbours on that side can stop screaming for a little while, and my neighbours on that side can keep their dog quiet, and my neighbours on the other side can not ride their motorbikes around for a little while, I'll be able to get through this video. So what this video is actually about is all of the things that no one tells you are going to happen to you when you lose a crap ton of weight. You know, like everyone knows that you're going to get fitter, you know, assuming you go to the gym as part of your process, that you're going to get fitter, you're going to get stronger, you're going to get healthier. They're all givens. You know that you're going to get smaller and that your shape is probably going to change. You know that if you do lose like a really massive amount of weight, and you know, like I've lost over 80 kilos, I'm probably sitting at about 79 kilos down now, but whatever. Your skin's going to get saggy to some degree. I expected that, and you know, I certainly do have saggy skin. I've got to be honest, mine's not as saggy as I expected it would be, going by photos that I've seen of other people's saggy skin who've lost, you know, like half the amount I have, so I'm very lucky there. And I will be delicately dabbing at my face this whole video because I'm so hot, even in my cool room. I had a feeling that I would get wrinkles. I'm 47 now, almost 48. I was 45 when I got lap banded, and I honestly had very few wrinkles. I was beginning to actually get a little bit freaked out because I could see other people around me the same age as me with wrinkles, and that's completely normal in your 40s, and I didn't have any. Even now I don't have a lot of wrinkles considering I'm almost 48. I'm not complaining, but I knew I'd get some wrinkles. I knew that I would eventually be able to shop in, you know, like normal stores, you know, like Cotton On and Alley and Tempt and Valley Girl, all those really cool stores. That was, but here's something I didn't expect. I didn't expect that it would be overwhelming. I thought it would be really fun, but for the first few months, I went from really only shopping in places like Big W, sometimes Kmart, and Autograph, to just having this whole world of dozens of shops that I could shop in, and it was overwhelming for me. I'd go to the shops and I'd go into a couple and I'd just get too overwhelmed and I'd go home. I'm fine now. I've learned the shops that I like, and you know, I've got my wardrobe pretty well stocked now anyway. I don't really need any clothes. I always want more, but I don't need any more. There were a few things that happened that I just didn't even think about. Didn't even cross my mind that these things would happen, because you know, I hadn't been able to do these things for so long that I'd forgotten that they were a normal thing. I suddenly found that I could cross my legs again. That was nice. And when I sit on the couch, I very often, back in the olden days, used to sit with my leg, one foot tucked up under my butt. Suddenly I could do that again. That was nice. I could paint my own toenails again. I could easily shave my legs. I do still have trouble shaving my legs now because it hurts my back to bend over like that, but I don't have, you know, all that massive belly in the way physically stopping me from being able to bend over. That's nice that I don't have to get my daughter, don't have to beg my daughter every couple of months to shave my legs for me. I didn't expect to lose weight in my feet. I went from about a size 10 and a half in shoes down to about a size 9. I think I'm about a size 9 now. And that just, because my feet were really fat as well, now they're just normal. I've still got chubby feet, that's just my feet, but now I've just got these normal little feet that just fit into normal shoes, so I've got a much wider range of shoes available to me. I can wear heels if I want to wear heels. Before I was too, you know, I didn't have the balance to wear heels. Today I went into the Telstra shop to see about my new phone that's on order now, and they said, oh, you know, just sit here in this chair, and it was, you know, like a stool. And I remember back in, you know, when I was really, really big, just the thought of doing that would have just sent a chill down my spine, because it was, you know, I had too much body to balance on a stool comfortably. I was always worried that they were going to collapse underneath me, and yeah, but now I'm fine. Stools aren't a problem for me anymore. I've got fancy notes here, that's why I keep looking down. Some other things that surprised me that I didn't expect were I stopped eating bread and rice and pasta. I quit soft drink, which I never thought I'd be able to do in my entire life. I went off foods that I had previously loved, like lettuce and tomato. But then I developed new obsessions for new foods, like dates and prunes and spinach, seafood, ricotta, yogurt. I mean, I've always loved yogurt, but I always used to have the sweetened yogurts. Now, plain Greek yogurt tastes like the most delicious, sweetest cream to me. It's just, my taste buds have changed so much, so very much. There were also a few things that weren't so great about losing weight. Things like I lost some friends. The main one that springs to mind is one lady who's also a big girl, but she wasn't as big as me, decided that she didn't want to be the fat friend. So, well, that says a lot about her personality, doesn't it? So, nothing really lost there. When I got lap banded, was seeing a guy casually at best, I guess you could say. And the more weight I lost, the less I saw him. So he was obviously only interested in like the really big girls. And then as I got smaller, I think the last time I saw him I was about 105 kilos. So anything less than that I think wasn't enough woman for him. My boobs didn't shrink. I expected my boobs to shrink. They didn't. You would think that with losing like 80, 85 kilos that my boobs would have shrunk. When I started they were a 24F, now they're a 14G. Now they are smaller, they are physically smaller, but my bra size hasn't gone down and they're still very uncomfortably large for me. And go out sometime and see if you can find a 14G bra. And also the problem you have with that, because I've got a lot of loose skin as well, my boobs are just these big saggy bags, but they're still quite there's still quite a lot of dense breast tissue in there considering how much weight I've lost. But when you're buying a G-cut bra, but you're only a 14 around the ribs, no one makes the bras up high enough under your arms. Look, you can see that, and I hate to show that. It's because it's just so disgusting. Look at all that. You can't. I can pull that inside my bra, you know, pull my bra up, but that stays out. I can't do anything about that. So hopefully when I get my breast reduction done, I'll go down to like a beautiful 14C or 14D, and I hope I'm not being unrealistic with that number. Another thing that really disappointed me was that I expected my back pain to decrease considerably with losing weight, particularly given that medical professionals over the years had told me that my back pain was largely due to my size. The more weight I've lost, the worse my back pain has gotten. And I think because I've got 3 bulging discs in my back and lordosis, kyphosis, and scoliosis. So I do have a lot of back problems. I've also got fibromyalgia. That makes it worse because the pain is like intensified too, more than what a normal person would feel. And I just think now, because my boobs haven't gotten that much smaller in comparison to the rest of my body, so now I'm carrying around effectively bigger boobs on a smaller frame, and I think my back can't cope with that. And the bras that I wear, they're like scaffolding, they're so restrictive. So, but you know, hopefully breast reduction will take care of that pain, and the tummy tuck will take care of the lower back pain. Hopefully. Now, that's all the things that I expected, and the mild annoyances and the things that weren't so great. But there were some things. Oh, actually, I've had. What does that say? Oh, I can't see it without my glasses. Oh yeah, 3 more things that are mildly unpleasant. No one told me that almost every single hot meal I ate for the rest of my life, I would be eating 3/4 of it stone cold. If I didn't want to get up and down to the microwave every 5 minutes to reheat it, because it would take me that long to eat it. As a lap-banded person, I've just gotten used to that. It's I never thought I would, but I have. Another thing no one told me was the extreme pain I would feel when I got food stuck. That pain, I think, is something that no one can prepare you for. I had no idea that it would be so painful. And it's so painful that I'm actually surprised that it's happened more than once. It does keep happening. I don't know, maybe the pain isn't quite that bad, because I keep doing it, but it is pretty bad. And no one ever told me that if I sat down to eat and then I felt stressed, like if I got into an argument with someone or someone said something I didn't like, or if I had, you know, thoughts that upset me, memories that upset me, that my band would tighten up instantly. That I would just, you know, I'd be eating fine, and then stress, band clamps down, food stuck. No one ever told me that. Now, there was some much more unpleasant things that have happened, and don't let this put you off, because these things may or may not happen to you. I might be just really special. If you are thinking of lap band surgery or sleeving or gastric bypass, whatever, don't let this put you off, because it really is worth it. It's New Year's Eve. The worst things. I like to have a bath, and even when I was a very big girl, I still got in the bath, but you know, I filled the bath. There was no space around me, and my belly came up out of the water and everything. Now, when I get in the bath, you know, there's plenty of room on the sides for my hips, you know, like I can swing my hips around, and plenty of room there. And it is heaps of fun when you have got really loose skin, and if you've lost a heap of weight and you've had a bath, you cannot tell me you have not done this. It is so much, because the loose skin floats. It all floats up in the water, and I poke it around and I pull it around, and I try to, you know, move it how it would look when I've had my tummy tucked down and everything. It's that side of it is heaps of fun. But what's not so pleasant is, even though I've still got a big butt, I work on keeping my butt big with squats and everything, but there's so much less padding on my butt that when I sit in the bath, I can't sit in the bath. I actually can't sit in the bath. I can only lay down in the bath, because it sits like right on my bum bones. Pardon me, that's the champagne. Sits right on my bum bones, and it really hurts. And it also, because there's such little padding there, also my tailbone gets sore sitting in the bath, so I can only lay down in the bath. That's a little bit shitty. And I mean, look at me, I'm by no means skinny, and I never remembered, even when I was like 70, 75 kilos when I was younger, having pain in my butt bones when I sat on hard surfaces or in the bath. But maybe my body composition has changed now, and I've got, I don't know, but it hurts. Prior to getting lap banded, I used to sleep year round just in undies. I found any other clothing just much too restrictive. Now, because my boobs have gotten so much saggier, and I'll say it, they're long now, I've got long boobs, I have to wear a top to bed. Otherwise, because I also sleep like a rotisserie, I roll all night. So if I don't wear a top to bed to like try to keep some sort of semblance of control over them, because I certainly can't wear like a bra or anything to bed, that's too restrictive, but I need to wear like a singlet or something, preferably like a firm fitting singlet. Otherwise, every single time I roll over, you can imagine like my big floppy long boobs get like caught under my body, and I have to like physically, and I'm not joking here, I have to physically grab hold of my boob and move it with me and reposition it. My my boobs are so long that if they lose any more volume, I'm going to be able to wrap them around my body like a belt. That's unpleasant. Speaking of boobs and bras, getting a bra on these long boobs is ridiculous. I remember back in the olden days when I had my beautiful size 12C boobies, that I used to get a bra and I used to just put it on and, you know, maybe like lift them up a little bit into the bra. Now, I dread having to put a bra on. I have to, because they're so long and they're so saggy, I have to actually lean forward. I put the bra over my shoulders, lean forward, and then swing the bra under my boobs and catch my boobs in it. Do it up at the back, because I can't do it up at the front and twist it around because there's too much boobage there. Then I have to fully lift these great big long boobs into my bra, and then I have to pull them out from the sides, pull the sides up to try to get as much boob inside the actual bra as I can, and then, this is disgusting, I have to put my hand in my bra again and fold my boobs out to the sides, otherwise I get all that, you know, that bulging over the top of your bra there. It should not be that hard to put a bra on. I am so looking forward to getting a breast reduction done and being able to just get a bra and just put it on and just go, good to go, good to go. Although I'll be honest, I probably won't wear a bra past the, you know, the 6 months or whatever it is that you've got to wear a bra, you know, 24 hours a day. I will be one of those people who just doesn't wear a bra. I'm a little bit hippie like that. On the same topic as bras, when I go to the gym, every single time I go to the gym, I'll wear at least 2 bras, sometimes 3. I wear just this old red lace underwire bra that's actually too big on me, but I wear that because it's too big so that I don't have all that extra constriction. But with the underwire, it gives me that, you know, the separation, which I never used to have when I was a big girl. It gives me that separation. Then I wear a pancake sports bra that's not an underwire over the top, that just flattens everything out and squashes it as much as possible. And then sometimes I'll put a crop top over the top as well. That doesn't stop all of the jiggling and shaking, but it minimises it. I need that separation, because if I don't have that separation, that's what happens when I'm on the treadmill or whatever, particularly if I'm running. And it is really loud. I can hear it even over my music through my headphones in my ears. I'm sure that people 4 suburbs away can hear it. So that separation, that stops the slapping together, so that I've only got the up and down movement and side to side, which is still quite significant. There's only so much I can do with this, but, you know. Oh. Now, this one's a little bit tricky, and I don't want to offend anyone, but I think it is important that people know that this shit's going to happen. And I'm not saying anyone at the moment, I haven't actually even been on a date for about 18 months, but I was lucky in one respect that I was, at the time when I was losing heaps of weight, I was seeing a guy who completely, utterly accepted me just as I was, in any form that came in. You know, I started seeing him when I was 170 kilos. I stopped seeing him when I was about, I don't know, I was probably about 85, 90 kilos, and he accepted every single way. Unlike the other bloke who just stopped seeing me when I got down to a certain weight. And I found, and not because I was embarrassed or because I was worried what he was thinking or anything like that, but it was just freaking distracting. When I was having sex, my arms would flap against my sides, my boobs would flap against my belly. If I was on top, my belly would slap against his belly. And that's, as I said, I wasn't embarrassed because he didn't care. If anything, he would have just thought it was funny, had a laugh and, you know, made a joke about it. And he knew that I would have been fine with that because it was funny. But when you're getting into it with someone and all you can hear is just this slap every time you move, that's really distracting. So I had to find new ways to move in order to avoid that distraction. I don't know why that it never occurred to me that would happen. Oh, yay, I've got a thigh gap And I'll be honest, I didn't even notice that I had a thigh gap until someone else noticed it in a photo. I don't really care. I mean, thigh gap, whatever. Do you know what's really nice about it? My thighs don't rub together. I'm not starting a fire every time I wear like pants, or if I go for a walk somewhere, I'm not getting rashes and stuff in the tops of my thighs. Tell you what does happen though, because I've lost so much weight and my skin on my thighs is very, very loose, all that flesh that used to rub together at the top of my thighs has fallen down to the insides of my knees. So now the insides of my knees bump together when I walk. And sometimes you can even hear it, because and it doesn't look that loose, but they are, because I can get my legs closer together now because they're not so bulky. That's a bit annoying, but at least my thighs don't rub together. That's really nice, being able to wear a summer dress and not come home with a rash. As I lost weight, I noticed, like standing full on in front of a mirror, like when I was getting, dried after the shower and stuff, that my map of Tassie began to reappear. And that surprised me, because I thought, as I lost weight, because I've always had an apron, like since I had both my kids, I had 2 cesareans. And I just thought that apron of skin, whilst it is still very, very, very saggy and very large, I thought that it would get lower and lower and lower, but it must have some skin elasticity left, because it has actually shrunk up a bit. So as it's shrunk up and I've lost weight, my little map of Tassie began to reappear. But that, combined with the thigh gap, mean that for a long while, not now, because I've really gotten onto the squats and the lunges. You only need to see this once, and then you start squatting, you start lunging, you start doing leg press. You could see my ass sagging down from the front. No one wants to see that. No one should ever see their body do that. Ever. But as I said, doesn't do that anymore. That was a transitional problem. Lunges and squats have really taken care of that. Thank God. Who wants a saggy ass that you can see from the front, for God's sake? This is a little bit of a weird one, and I really doubt that this happens to anyone else. I really don't think this is a thing. I think this is just something that happened to me, and it's weird. I find now, I think it's just because my ass is so saggy, like the skinny saggy, it doesn't hang down anymore, but it's, although actually, since I've really been hitting the squats and stuff, this doesn't happen anymore. I fixed it. Anyway, for a very long while, if I sat on a hard surface, my bum cheeks, like each individual bum cheek, would fold up vertically. So just say that's one bum cheek, it would fold up vertically through there and like fold in on itself. That was really creepy. It was creepy to be sitting on a chair and feel my bum cheeks fold up like that, and it hurt. It was a little bit painful, and it was weird. No one wants their body to do that. Now I'm going to tell you the worst thing, and this is quite embarrassing to admit, but I will talk about it, because in case this has happened to other people, so that they can go, oh, that's a thing, and it won't last forever, probably. It relates to cheeks, but not bum cheeks. As my niece so eloquently calls them, it relates to my vagina cheeks. When I lost like a real lot of weight, like heaps and heaps and heaps of weight, I must have been 70 or 75, 80 kilos down, everything got really loose for a while, like really loose and saggy and floppy, and also like, and I'm not just talking about the vagina cheeks, I'm talking about like inside my abdomen as well, because I actually went and saw the doctor about this, because it was driving me absolutely crazy. Part one of the problem was that it became really difficult for me, and I still actually have this problem every now and then if I work on my pelvic floor too much. Every now and then I need to give my pelvic floor a little bit of a rest. There is such a thing as a too tight pelvic floor. I had a lot of trouble weeing, and my GP told me that it was because I'd lost so much, because you lose fat around your organs as well, and I'd lost so much fat around, you know, like my bladder and stuff inside my body, and there's like a band of muscle or a ligament or something that holds it up. And there wasn't enough fat inside my lower abdomen or my pelvis to support my bladder properly. So when I was trying to wee, it was just coming out as a trickle, and I was having to actually like push the wee out of my body, and it was taking me so long to wee. And then I started getting urine infection, like bladder infections. As I said, that doesn't happen all that much anymore, but I do still go through times when that is happening. If that is happening, I lay off the pelvic floor exercises for a little while, and that seems to fix it. But the other thing that happened, because everything got all really floppy, and every single time when I went to the toilet, my wee would spray everywhere, like all over my thighs. I'm so embarrassed saying this, all over my thighs and everything, and it was just absolutely driving me insane. I tried everything. I tried holding my thighs up out of the way when I sat down. I tried like pulling my belly up to stretch things out. I tried sitting forward, sitting back, sitting to the side, everything. And it was this literally, I thought I was going to lose my mind over it. Just every single time I went to the toilet, just having wee, just like spray everywhere. And I spoke to my GP about that, and she said that this is a very common problem that women who have lost a lot of weight have, but that doesn't happen anymore. But it happened for probably at least 3 or 4 months, and it was the longest 3 or 4 months of my life. I didn't know what to do about it, because it's not like I can go and get surgery because, you know, I'm spraying wee. No one's going to give me surgery for that. And I didn't know how to fix it. Coincidentally, I did start doing a squat that I could actually feel in my labia when I was doing it. So maybe, and because there are some little muscles that run through there, maybe I managed to tighten it all up. And it looks fine. I want to tell everyone that everything is really pretty. But I was just having that physical problem. All fixed now though. So thank God. Thank God. But as I said, I hope this hasn't put anyone off, especially that like wee spraying everywhere thing. If that is happening to you, go and have a look at my exercise video and the squats that I do. They might help you. Otherwise, know that it's probably, if there's some really shitty things happening to you, it's very likely just a transitional thing that you've got to go through, and your skin can take up to 12 months to shrink up as much as it's going to shrink up. Maybe that's all that happened. Maybe I just needed to wait that little bit of time until that happened. But yeah, I wouldn't look, even if with all these things, if I'd known all these things were going to happen, I would still have got lap banded. I wouldn't have changed anything. I maybe would have sent future me back to past me to tell me that the wee spraying thing was only a temporary thing, because then I wouldn't have felt so crazy about it. But that's it. I'm sure there's been other things that have surprised me along the way, but I can't think of them right now. But if I do, I'll make another video. And that's all for now, and I'll see you later.